any kind of firearm that's regulated by the National Firearms Act of 1934, which is called the NFA. So that includes silencers, short-barrel rifles, short-barrel shotguns, and fully automatic weapons, also known as machine guns, are super highly regulated by the federal government on who's allowed to own them and the process of acquiring them. And so every time you want to go out and buy a silencer, the ATF has this procedure called ATF Form 4, and you have to when you go to a dealer and want to buy a silencer, then the dealer has to prepare something called ATF Form 4 application, and he's got to ask for permission from the ATF to be allowed to transfer a silencer, make my own serial number, from the dealer to the buyer. And there's a $200 tax payment in the application. So every time a firearm regulated by the NFA, National Firearms of 1934, changes owners, the government has its hands out asking for $200. And they've been doing that since 1934, when that was approximately half the cost of a Model A Ford car. And then there's fingerprints and photographs of the buyer in the application, and the application gets mailed off the ATF. So then after about 10 to 12 months go by, the ATF runs a complete FBI background check on the buyer. And assuming that is approved by the FBI, then the ATF approves the application, and they mail the approval document that everybody refers to as the tax stamp back to the dealer. And then when the dealer gets that tax stamp in the mail, that's his permission slip to conduct the transfer. And so that's when he can finally call the buyer, 10 to 12 months later, and say, hey, the tax stamp's in, come pick up your silencer. And then that's when the buyer can finally go to the dealer, and then when he gets there, he fills out that same form he always fills out when he buys a gun from a dealer, and then the dealer hands him the silencer and the tax stamp, and he walks out the door. Every time you buy one, you start from the very beginning as if the ATF and the FBI have never heard of you before. And they run a complete FBI background check on you all over again, every single time.